Guys, on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser, we're coming to you live from Halftime Pizza in San Antonio, Texas on Tesla Road. And guys, we're going to talk about Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, and of course, Al Heyman on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Hey, it's The Rock doing your intro. How do you like that, man? I mean, Rocky Balboa, not, The Rock from W.A.W. But guys, this wouldn't be an episode of Real Talk without the counsel of our dear friend and longtime, let's just say boxing lifer, the incomparable Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Not bad, Joe. Another Monday night. I missed last week. I was under the weather, but here I am and above the weather, and everything's great.
Still fighting that good fight, brother. God bless you, my friend. And I tell you what, we have a lot to discuss because, boy, we just saw a great weekend of boxing. Rick, your overall thoughts, I mean, before we get into the latest Rick Glaser Twitter watch, your overall thoughts on this boxing weekend, and is there any other sport on the earth that could possibly compete with boxing when we have a weekend like this?
It was fantastic. There wasn't one judging controversy. There was no refereeing controversy. The fans tried to make that Tyson Fury, they should have stopped the fight when he got knocked down. That's ridiculous. The guy was knocked down 7 times previously in his career and got up every time and fought back and won. And there was no reason for him not to let the fight go on. He get knocked down, it counted, the round was over with. I don't know what they were talking about. People are wacky. They dream shit up. It was a great fight. It was a great fight. It lived up to the hype. Fury was doing well, and then all of a sudden Usyk started pressuring him more and more, and the pressure wore Fury down, and he ran out of gas. That's what I think happened. That's my opinion, but it just it was a great fight, no question about it. I scored the fight a draw. I had 1 round even, and I scored it a draw. A lot of notable boxing people had it a draw. It was a hell of a fight. It was a hell of a fight.
Absolutely. I had it scored 6 rounds apiece, and with the knockdown.
Listen, there was one of those fights. If Fury would have won by 1 point, or he would have lost by 1 point, it was a draw. There was no robbery. It was a matter of conjecture and opinion, and that's great. That's the way it was supposed to be. Nobody. One's the one score of 115-112 for Usyk. I don't know. That was a little wide for my taste, but it was a great fight, no question about it.
Yeah, look, and I love it when you say, "Hey, I scored 1 round even," but Rick, why are state athletic commissions, as well as everyone else, they seem to be encouraging judges at ringside not to score more even rounds?
Well,
they frown upon it. Why is that?
I don't know, but the 1 round they just sort of looked at each other and threw a few jabs, and they both moved around. They kept resetting, and I can't remember what round it was. They didn't do anything. So you
That's
couldn't
right.
give it to either guy, really.
Yep.
Nobody
But
took the initiative. Nobody even took the initiative. You know what I'm saying? And somebody could say, well, the guy landed 2 more jabs than the other guy. Yeah, but they weren't
it was
power
of no
punches.
consequence. It was of
Right.
no consequence. And so that's the problem. So when you're looking at, and everyone's saying, well, the knockdown was the difference in the fight. No, when you think about it, and I know which one you're talking about. That was round number,
9.
round number 9. And so, no, not 9. 9 was the knockdown round. I'm talking about the one that you scored even. That was like round number 2.
Yeah, I think it was round
And
number
so,
2.
and so all judges except for one, 2 of the judges scored it in favor of Usyk. You could argue that uneventful round determined the outcome of the fight.
Yeah. Listen. That they're going to do a rematch. It's in writing. They're going to do a rematch, and the money's going to be the same. Tyson Fury got 75. The other guy got 50 million, and they're going to get the same amount the second time. Fury's still going to get 75. He's going to get 50, and everybody's going to be. They're going to do it again. It was a great fight. There's not really no reason not to do it again. It'll sell better now than it did before. No,
Absolutely. And let's just hope some mainstream media outlets in the American market actually choose to cover this one.
I mean, come on. What a joke. We didn't have a word. We didn't have a word about it in our regional paper here. Not one fucking word. Or their website online. Their online newspaper, which is a website. They didn't have one fucking word about the fight. It's disgusting. It really is.
Yeah, you know what? And that's a big problem. And once again, I think Turki Al-Sheikh, I think he understands that now, and which is why he's staging some of these events in the local regions, like Terrence Crawford versus Madrimov. That's going to be in LA. I think he understands the importance, like Don Charvin used to say, a hot matchup isn't a hot event unless you put it in the right venue.
Correct.
And so, guys, we'll see where this goes. But yeah, that's a reason. I think Turkey gets it. And I think he is indeed in it for the long haul, which is why he's putting a fight in London as well as LA. So let's just say hello to our dear friends in the chat before we start. Rick Glaser Twitter watch. Oh boy, we're starting early, Rick. Tony Yayo, welcome to the show, and thank you for supporting Rick Glaser. He says, excuse me, salute to the mighty LDPC. Would you characterize them as mighty, Rick?
Mighty? Fucking bunch of mental midgets.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You asked for it, Tony. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day, sir.
A burrito is more mighty than the LDBC. Put it that way to you.
Hey, brother, don't insult burritos. I love them. They're flipping delicious. Puro Mexicano Homes. But Big Luke, thank you for supporting Big Rick from Buffalo. I tell you what, Marcos Chaz, he already tries to answer the question. Will Usyk retire after defeating Fury? He said, Usyk won't retire. Ukraine needs money to rebuild. Oh, come on, dude.
No, it just had nothing to do with it. He's going to get $50 million. Come on, nobody's going to retire.
Yeah. And Click Clack, welcome to the show, sir. He says, question for Rick. Is Mayweather Promotions desperate for TV dates, or did Eddie Hearn's accent cure Leonard Ellerby's erectile dysfunction?
Mayweather has no TV dates. He has nothing.
Yeah, look, he's arguably out of this business. I mean, come on. Does he even have anything to do with Tank Davis's upcoming event? No, he doesn't. So he's basically he's I know he staged that
Leonard Ellerby Leonard Ellerby got reassigned from Mayweather Promotions. Really, I mean, he's still the president, but he's basically Tank's babysitter now.
That's it, guys. So thank you for joining us, Click Clack, and thank you for the questions, guys. If you have any questions for Rick, please let him fly at this time. W.A.W says, great fight. But does Rick think it was the wrong tactic for Fury to stay on the back foot instead of staying in the middle and dictating the pace of the fight and controlling range with his jab? question.
100%. Bad strategy by Sugar Hill, and I don't know what they were thinking, but they were pushing him back with the jab, and then all of a sudden he was leaning back and on the ropes and all kind of. Well, you're 6'9". Why would you go to the ropes? The other guy,
Oh
you
my
got 5
gosh.
inches of height on the guy. Come on, stupid.
Yep, that's the same exact thing. Great minds think alike, I guess, because that's the same exact thing that Coach Gogi said last night on his show. And if you guys haven't heard that yet, guys, check it out after the show. Coach Gogi's review of Saturday's action. And my brother Montequilla, Adam Montequilla Lopez, former prize fighter. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick. And guys, Adam, if you didn't know, I'm doing the show live from our favorite pizza place on Tesla Road, Halftime Pizza, hence the icon up in the corner. So, hey, man, you should join us one time we do the show. But Adam says, Rick's opinion of Fury's legacy among heavyweights. Very good question.
He's a top 25 heavyweight, between 20 and 25. I mean, could he have beaten some of the other guys? Yeah, he could have. But overall, you got to remember something. He doesn't fight that often. Those other guys are fighting 3-4 times a year. And if he was fighting 3-4 times a year over the last, 12 years, that fucker would be 25 and 15.
Yep. That's it. Oh, excuse me. But look, one thing I can't stand, Rick, and maybe I should play this. Okay, here it is. No, I can't do it. It's a terrible fan take, right? People were dogging, saying Tyson Fury, saying that he's a fraud, saying that he's an overrated bum.
No, he's not overrated. He's just as great today as he was before the fight started. He happened to lose a fight by 1 point. He's a great fighter. He's just not. You can't compare him to when George Foreman was around. Listen, I put out a tweet the other day. You probably I'm probably spoiling the tweet, and it basically said no matter what the results Saturday. This is beforehand, like Thursday. No matter what the results Saturday, he's not the greatest British heavyweight of all time. It's definitely Lennox Lewis. So what Lennox Lewis would have done to Anthony Joshua and Fury could have been done in the same night, for Christ's sake.
Look, to be honest with you guys, Vitaly Klitschko cleans out this version of the heavyweight division. And Lennox Lewis would have done the same. Right? Guys, yeah. I think Rick is right on the money here. But what I was going to say was these fanboys of Alexander Usyk are weird. They're giving Canelo fanboys a run for their money. That's what I'm saying. They're dogging Tyson Fury, but then they're heralding Alexander Usyk as the greatest heavyweight of this era, which I agree with.
Thankfully, it's not the LDBCers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is true. They're the worst of the worst. They're the dregs of the dregs in boxing community. But no. My point is, though, like you can't have both. So you're claiming that, like these fans are claiming that Usyk is the greatest after this performance, after this victory against an overrated bum. Yeah, you can't have it both ways, guys. Either it's a product of a great performance over a great fighter, or it's not. You can't have it both ways, guys. Come on. Give both men their flowers, because what we saw on Saturday was an instant classic and a great fight. And it takes two great fighters to make a great fight. That's it, guys. On this level, think about what was at stake, Rick. And do you think that's why Mark Nelson made the decision that he did, because of what was at stake, as well as Tyson Fury's?
There's no controversy. He was well within the rules and well within his discretion. Okay, yep. He took the fact that Tyson Fury been down 7 times and said, "Fuck, this guy can go on. He's got great recovery abilities." He went down, counted, the round was over, and the next round he probably won the round. So I guess he was right. Mark Nelson was right.
There it is. The fact that he finished the fight justifies his decision. And competitively, not one-sided either. That's right. That's absolutely right.
So it proved everybody that talks about the referee The result of Fury finishing well, even though they didn't win the fight, he finished well. He was never in any trouble again. Obviously, he was right. The referee.
That's it. That's it, guys. Once again, proof is in the pudding. And if you're looking at this objectively, you don't have a problem with this. I don't know one person in the business that takes exception to what Mark Nelson decided to do, except for Usyk's team and Al Bernstein.
Al Bernstein, stop. Please. Come on, Al Bernstein. Talk about some of yesterday's news. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. His fucking, like the newspaper yellowed, his skin yellowed, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. That fucking liberal bastard. Fuck him.
I love it. And guys, we're just getting started. Thank you for joining us, Adam. We wish you were on the show helping me co-host, but another time, my friend. W.A.W says this also. Sugar Hill. Javen was screaming for that right hand from Tyson, and it just kind of sadly never came. I guess the counters and pressure from Usyk was a little too much. Fantastic fight, though. Your thoughts on that comment, sir?
I was wondering where the right hand was all night long. All he did is have to throw a double jab and come back with the right hand, and he would have made Usyk try to go backwards, and then you could have come forward, even if he wouldn't have landed. Jesus Christ! I mean, what a bad game plan.
It sure was. Let me ask you something, because this is something that we brought up on last night's show with James Gogi. Do you think his shaky performance against Francis Ngannou?
Nah, you can't go by anything about that fight. He thought it was a blowover. He didn't train for the fight. Didn't even hire sparring partners. He didn't even train. You can't go by that. Nothing to do with that fight.
What I mean is, did that shaky performance influence this strategy? Because it was dubious at best.
Oh, I don't know about it. Listen, I don't know what goes to mind. I don't know what goes through the mind of stupid people. I'm not stupid, so I don't know.
And there it is. Jesus M, welcome to the show, sir. He says, "Saludos, Joe. Usyk takes the rematch and then retires." Well, not if it's a rubber match. I mean, let's just not beat around the bush. Rick, what are Tyson Fury's chances for a rematch in October, sir?
Good. I don't see why not. They're both unscathed, basically. So, you know, I didn't hear about any hand injuries or elbows or knees or bad cuts. He had a little bit of a cut, Tyson Fury, but not much. I mean, October. Here we're in May. That cut will recover by July 1st completely, and you got all of July, August, September to train in October. So yeah, the fight will come off. Well, one thing for sure, that we know the Saudis have the money.
Indeed, that's for sure. I tell you what, and what a tremendous event. The production value was beautiful. Rick, do you think the production set the stage? And do you think it was the proper setting for a fight of this magnitude?
You can't go by proper setting, because in Vegas, even in Vegas now, if the fight's in Vegas, the first 10 rows are all high rollers and comp tickets or big shots and stuff, and nobody's jumping up and down anyways. So it is what it is. You know, it's not like it's in a little Mexican bull ring where they put up a 16-foot ring and everybody goes crazy and everybody's drinking. Those days are, that's for ESPN. What's that called? The Portes, the ESPN Knockout, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not happening. It's not happening in that level. So we don't have to worry about it. You know, the fight makes the crowd today. In those kind of situations, the fight's great. The people respond. If it's not great, they sit on their hands.
And there it is, guys. And before we move forward, we want to thank Bruce Gasboxing Casimore for supporting Big Rick on this day. And guys, if you haven't already, please go support my brother Bruce. Always does a great job.
Good guy.
Let's see who else. Let's go. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick. Rick, what is Steven Espinosa's role in boxing going forward?
He's a maggot. So where maggots are on garbage cans and spoiled food and all that kind of stuff, and dog shit and stuff like that. That's what he is. Fucking
Oh
maggot.
boy. Tell us how you really feel, Rick. Andrew, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick. Rick is the man. Curious to what the new investor means for BBC. Better quality broadcast, I hope.
I don't know what it's going to mean, except to keep them in business for how much longer. I don't know. It's just they've gone through so much money. Their brand is so tarnished now. I mean, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's a puke brand, if anything.
Yeah, well, guys, look, we have to start with Twitter Watch because we're giving away way too many responses for the Twitter Watch. Yeah, so let's just start it right now, guys, shall we?
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. Let's scroll up. Jeez, I didn't have this ready. Here we go. Let us scroll up for number one. Here it is. And this is just something that we've already stated. Number one, Twitter. And this was right after the fight. Fury, Usyk was sensational. Usyk wins a points decision. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia boxing. Look, Rick.
I left out a word there. I don't know how that happened. It was a 1-point decision. Was supposed to say, not a point decision. A 1-point decision, but I don't know where the one went.
No,
whatever.
That's quite all right. That's why we have you here to actually correct things or explain things. But in your mind, Rick, does the rematch live up to the billing now? Because
yes,
that first
absolutely.
one was
the rematch will be bigger because it was such a good fight and so competitive, and he was dethroned. Now, if Fury would have won the fight, it wouldn't have been as exciting. The rematch was big because a lot of people expected Fury to win, but now that the other guy won, it makes it more interesting.
I agree, and it's kind of the similar sentiment to what most people think a Ryan Garcia Devin Haney rematch would be in a different location. So, does this fight happen in Saudi again?
I don't know. Wherever they want to put it. Maybe it happens in London. Maybe it happens in Cardiff, Wales. Who knows where it's going to end up? I mean, Cardiff, Wales got that big 100,000 seat stadium, maybe it ends up there because they'll need 100,000 seats.
Oh, I tell you what, the Millennium Stadium would be a perfect place. Yeah, tell you what. Number two, no matter the result Saturday, hashtag Tyson Fury is not the greatest British heavyweight of all time. That distinction goes to Lennox Lewis, and those Deontay Wilder punches that dropped Fury multiple times in the trilogy. Lennox would have finished off Fury. Lennox was a great closer. Hashtag UK, hashtag Great Britain, hashtag boxing. In your mind, Rick, Fury, let me ask you, how does he fare, Tyson Fury? Let's just say Alexander Usyk in the hypothetical situation that he decides to retire and he says, you know what, I've got nothing more to accomplish. I don't need the money. I've made already more money than I could have ever dreamed. And Tyson Fury fights Anthony Joshua in Wembley Stadium. Who wins that fight? How does he fare against this version of Anthony Joshua?
I don't know. So they're both hot and cold, especially Anthony Joshua is hot and cold fighters, so it's too tough to say. The best of Anthony Joshua can beat Fury, but we don't see the best of Anthony Joshua very often.
No, we don't. We don't. And honestly, what do you think of the style matchup? It's hard to say that also because Fury is, well, he's a chameleon. Sometimes he decides to come at you. And then sometimes he tries to be a cutie pie and box from mid to long range.
Yeah, it's too to predict a Joshua Fury fight. I might as well predict what the weather will be in Buffalo in October, late October. You know what I mean?
Touche,
come on. You know what I mean? Anything could happen. Fury's the better boxer with a higher ring IQ. Joshua is a better puncher with one punch, but he doesn't box that well to land a lot of those big punches. So Fury gets knocked down, but he gets up. It's too hard. It's too hard to put a
You know what?
who would win that fight.
Yeah, you know what? It looks like we've already covered these because number 3 says, great to have an entire boxing weekend of huge fights and not one judging or reffing controversy. And as far as those that thought Usyk Fury should have been stopped in round 9, you clearly don't know the rules. And referee Mark Nelson clearly made the right call. The ropes can't hold you up. Fury recovered as he hadn't 7 previous times he's been knocked down in his career. And the real professionals like Mark Nelson know that and take that into consideration. Much respect to Usyk Fury and Mark Nelson for a great fight. Well done by all, including the promotion, Turkey Al-Cheek, Frank Warren, and Bob Arum. Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, it looks like we've already covered that, haven't we? Is there anything more you'd like to add before we move on to that? Because I thought Mark Nelson did a great job. He also
we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes to halftime. I want to know where my pizza is.
Yeah.
I got you that one, didn't I?
Oh, it's beautiful. I love halftime pizza, guys. And once again, it's such a great place. Come on by and say hi, guys. They're still open till 11, I think. And it's by far my pizza place. But I'm not even going to ask Rick if he thinks halftime pizza would compare to his favorite pizza pie spot in Buffalo, New York.
Well, remember something. Buffalo, we're known for our pizza and wings here. So it would be tough for, it'd be tough for me to believe that the pizza down there is as good as the pizza in Buffalo. If you're putting jalapenos or pineapple on your pizza down there, it ain't as good as Buffalo. But we don't do that shit here.
Hey, don't knock until you try it, brother. Jalapenos on a pepperoni pizza is outstanding, bro. Outstanding. Yeah. But I will say this, though. I just ordered, and I'm going to take it home with me to go, a buffalo chicken sandwich with ranch with tater tots, and it is outstanding here. So guys, it's
we don't serve it with ranch. We serve it with blue cheese, see?
Well, blue cheese is good. I prefer ranch, but you know what? Tomato, whatever, man. But I'm just saying the food is quite good here. It's my favorite pizza place. So, number 4. We're getting off the Tyson Fury. Here we go. Rumors abound, and now hearing from reliable sources that Al Heyman supposedly owes Floyd Mayweather $100 million from past purchases, telling Floyd he was investing the money for Floyd. And now Heyman's been nowhere to be found since December 18th, 2023. This could be the reason why Floyd had his financial issue in Dubai. Oh, boy. The big question, hold on, let me continue. The big question, where's Al Heyman, as I'm sure Floyd would like to know. Sounds like other Al Heyman fighters should be checking up on their finances that their Uncle Al may have invested. I think that's okay. That's it. Tell me it ain't so, Uncle Al. #boxing, brother. I've heard this from other people too. What's going on, Rick?
It's self-explanatory.
So what? So is this why? Because a lot of people seem to think that this is why Spence stiffed Derek James, because he hasn't gotten paid completely from his Crawford fight.
That I don't know. I don't have wind of that, but that's a good possibility.
Oh boy. Let me just ask you this. Is Al Heyman, is he going to be dubbed? Will future determine this? And when the truth presents itself and time reveals all, will Al Heyman be dubbed the Bernie Madoff of boxing, sir?
I don't know. I can't say that, but it doesn't look promising. I will say that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how this cat still is able to operate. And how does he let this roll off his shoulders? How does he not assume liability? Because everywhere he goes, everyone loses money but him. What's going on?
He's a pretty smart guy. He's slick, and
Yeah.
he's slick and smart and dishonest.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, something has to be done here, guys. This just isn't right. Moving on to our final fact or fiction, or our final Twitter watch. And this was just today, number 5. I've always been a fan of hashtag Tim Zoo believer, but Virgil Ortiz is in a different league. Zoo's coming off of a tough loss with a very bad cut that's stepping right to Virgil Ortiz. Got to give the Aussie some real props for that. Zoo Ortiz will be all action bombs away for as long as it lasts. August 3rd, Australia, LA, boxing. Look, Rick, I actually think this is a very foolish idea. And I like Tim Zoo. But in my opinion, he gets his ass whooped, Rick. How do you see it playing out?
It don't play out well for him. The other, I think Virgil Hill has got his feet, got good feet on him. He maneuvers in and out well and around, and he's got very fast hands, and he's a big puncher. And I think he's going to exploit openings that people didn't know that Tim Zoo had.
Yeah. Honestly, like the Mean Machine, Igas Kavalyaskes, he stated, look, I fought Terrence Crawford, and I'm telling you that Virgil Ortiz has the better jab, the more intelligent jab, and it definitely has the better power. How does a fight like that play out, Virgil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford, or does that even happen at 54, Rick?
I don't think it's going to happen because Crawford's going to if Crawford beats that I can't Madridoff on August 3rd, he's going to go up and fight Canelo at 68, and then there'll be a rematch. If there'll probably be a rematch, and Crawford will call it a day, win or lose those 2 fights. So I just don't see Virgil Ortiz and him fighting.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, brother. I think Terrence Crawford at this time, unless it's a matchup that can generate at least $15 to $20 million, he doesn't want any part of it. And there it is. So you just completed the Twitter watch, but we've got this coming up, Rick.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
It's been a minute. Here we go. Number 1, Big Rick. Should Tyson Fury choose to fight on after putting forth a gallant but losing effort to Usyk, he should ban his father, Big John Fury, from being in his corner during fights. Fact or fiction?
Nah, fiction. No, he shouldn't. There's no reason to ban John.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, you heard like every time Javen or Andy were trying to give some solid directive to Tyson Fury and instruction, all you heard was, let go of your job. We're fighting men. And I'm like, just shut up and sit down.
Yeah, but that's inspirational shit. You can't argue with that. That's father's son. That's inspirational. It's not like he's trying to teach him how to box in the corner like Bill Haney was trying to do, and you know, that's a whole different issue. So he's fine.
I understand, but let me tell you, Angelo Dundee and Lou Duva, he is not. Oh boy. Yeah, but look, it's something, I don't know why they chose that strategy. Like it was, but you know what? It was working in the middle rounds.
Yeah,
it was working in the middle rounds.
Well, in the end, it didn't work. But
yeah,
anyway,
you could say it was working until it wasn't.
Right.
Number 2, Alexander Usyk will retire instead of giving Fury a highly anticipated rematch, and Tyson will face AJ later this year instead.
I don't think so. I think it'll be Usyk again. Leaving too much money on the table.
Yeah, you don't think anyone is dumb enough to turn down $50 million except Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Yeah. Number 3, heavyweight Ajit Kabayel from Germany earned a trip to LA and will be big baby Jared Anderson's next opponent on August 3rd. Fact or fiction?
I don't think so. He doesn't. Well, Cabral doesn't need Jared Anderson. He'll get a big fight now. He doesn't need to go back. It's like going backwards right now.
I agree. You know what? Give us your thoughts. And did you see this coming? Him basically destroying Frank Sanchez.
No, I didn't. I never thought much of Frank Sanchez, but I didn't think this was a guy who was gonna destroy him. But Sanchez is strictly a typical Cuban front runner.
I tell you what, I should have put that tweet on and what you said about Frank Sanchez. And let me pull it up just real quick, and so I can read all of that to you guys. That's hilarious. Let's see. Here it is. On May 18th, guys, Rick says, Rick tweeted, another huge PBC loss. Previously undefeated heavyweight Frank Sanchez got destroyed and KO'd in round 7, getting fourth twice in a WBC eliminator. PBC is reeling badly. PBC's fighters lose every time they don't fight another PBC fighter. Hashtag Riyadh, hashtag Saudi Arabia, hashtag boxing. Rick, it's hard to disagree with that.
Huh? Yeah. I stated the obvious.
Yeah, so what's next for Ajit Kabayel? Who does he face next?
I don't know. He gets a big fight. Put it that way to you. Maybe a Dillian White, something bigger than Frank Sanchez.
Yeah, Frank Sanchez couldn't sell out my living room on Saturday night, brother. Let's just face it. So a step up from him. Yeah. What about Andy Ruiz? The winner of Andy Ruiz, Big Baby Miller?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. But Dillian White, that would be good because he would. He has a lot of fans in the UK, so it's a big fight.
And let me ask you this, sir: does the success of Ajit Kabayel, does that revive the heavyweight division and the German market?
No, because there's no TV over there. They don't have the TV dollars anymore like they used to have. So no, the answer is no.
What the hell happened to the heavyweight division or boxing in general in Germany? That used to be such a thriving market.
The TV companies pulled out.
Oh boy. Not good, guys. Well, in steps Turkey Al-Sheikh. And once again, he is proving to be doing great things in this business. And we thank him, and everyone should tune in and financially support these pay-per-views. Speaking of which, how do you think this pay-per-view did in the American market without any kind of advertisement and promotion for it? Because, the media, look, all week we were hearing about Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, right?
Yeah, I don't think it did necessarily well in the United States.
Okay, guys, we're shifting gears. Number 4. The New York State Athletic Commission's findings this week after testing Ryan Garcia's B sample will prove to be inconclusive. As a result, the popular fighter will not be suspended and will get to keep his W over Devin Haney. Fact or fiction, sir?
No, he'll get suspended.
So you don't think that this will be because there's a lot of history and a lot of examples of people actually clearing their name because of supplement contamination, or do you think he was indeed cheating?
I think that he took supplements unwilling. I think he took things that were supplements and he didn't know that shit was in there. That I'll agree. It was unwitting, not knowledgeable, unknown to him. But the fact that it was in there was in there.
Yeah, so you think he's going to get going to be disciplined anyway?
A short suspension and a fine. Yeah, not. He wouldn't have fought anyways in the time. Probably 3-4 months.
So who does he fight next? Do we see an immediate rematch after his suspension, or does he go to Errol Spence Jr., a shot Errol Spence at 54?
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea.
And there it is, number 5. Big Rick. Mike Tyson will quit on his stool after round 5 in his scheduled 8-round contest against Jake Paul, July 20th. Oh boy. Fact or fiction, sir?
I don't know. It's such garbage. I don't even want to comment. It just disgusts me.
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked. Everyone was talking. And once again, they staged this press conference in New York last week, the week of the real fight. And everyone was talking about Tyson Paul instead of the real fight, the one of consequence, the one historic matchup that was going on. It's just a real shame, guys. So once again, it's up to you guys as ambassadors of our beloved boxing to tell your casual and mainstream friends about the undertakings, because the media, they're not doing shit. It's disgraceful.
Yep.
Number 6, last one. Edgar Berlanga will face Diego Pacheco on DAZN later this year to determine the Cinco de Mayo opponent for Canelo in 2025. Not Christian Mbili, who's fighting this Saturday. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, Blanco will probably fight him in September. Probably fight Canelo in September. Crawford wins in August. He wins in September, which will be more than likely both. And they'll fight in December or January.
Very good. Very good. And are you looking forward to seeing Christian Mbili back in the ring? Because I tell you what, the rankings, this is a real problem for Canelo moving forward, Big Rick. Have you seen the rankings? And if you take out David Benavidez, take out Dave Morrell Jr., who are both moving up to 75, they don't look very positive for if you're Canelo Alvarez. Who do you fight after that?
Well, that's why he's got to fight Crawford twice, at least once, maybe twice.
That's why, guys. That's why. That's why this is a serious fight, and that's why they're seriously talking about it, and that's why Turki Al-Sheikh has proposed he's going to pay for that fight. That's right. But guys, and you just survived, once again, fact or fiction, Rick. Now we're going to go to the chat for more questions. Here it is. Here it is. And suits him. Agree, Rick. Lennox Lewis is way superior than Fury and probably easily beats Usyk. Rick, does he easily beat Usyk?
I think so.
I can't imagine anyone easily beating Usyk, but once again,
not easily, but I think he beats him,
Yeah, and I think, well, to his point, before the David Tua fight, I didn't anticipate anyone easily beating David Tua either, but he did. He seemed to do that. Oh boy, I tell you what. How would you see Larry Holmes in his prime take on Lennox Lewis in his prime? How do you see that fight playing out?
I think the ring IQ of Larry Holmes was great, but I also think that Lennox Lewis had a big right hand, and Larry Holmes was susceptible to right hands. I could see Larry getting knocked down one time, but getting off the deck to win the decision.
You know what? I agree with that. I tell you what. Here we go. He's already said this, but I want to hear this again. Rick, your thoughts on Frank Sanchez?
The fucking gutless fucking front runner.
Clay Stevenson, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Rick, what is going on in Golden Boy world, sir?
Everything is fine. It's all looking good.
Is there anything that you'd like to announce coming up?
I'm not announcing anything. That's what they have PR people for, and Oscar and stuff. But they got some great shows coming up. They got some July 6th. They got what's his name is back. William Zepeda is back. They got a show, I believe, July 27th on DAZN. They got June 7th on DAZN. They got a bunch of shows. They've had a lot of shows already this year, and they in the United States, they're the promoter of the year so far.
Yep, and there it is. Rick, why is Roberto Diaz always bad-mouthing you? You're a class act, and that also supports Rafael Simsel. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Also, your thoughts on Roberto Diaz?
Well, why does Roberto Diaz badmouth me? I think he's a little jealous. I think he's a little jealous, and hopefully he just got a job as president of Sheer Management, Sheer Sports Management, which is a boxing management company. They manage several fighters. It's just that I get a lot more play. Here he worked at Golden Boy all those years, and they they didn't renew his agreement, his contract, and they let him fly a year ago, January, a year and a half ago, and I think he found out how hard it is to make a living in boxing without a salary, and now he's gone the salary route again. And I've done it for 33 years with no salary as an independent, and I think there's a lot of jealousy, and I think he's sick of I think he's sick of bad mouthing me to people, then people telling him how smart I am.
And there it is, guys. Look, I will vouch for Rick all day long, so we'll keep funky. We already told you that Rick is the real McCoy, guys. And he doesn't, no one lasts this long in this business without being the real guy, a real boxing guy. Okay? It just doesn't happen. So there it is. There it is. W.A.W, he says, Rick, is Usyk the greatest cruiserweight of all time? In my book, he's better than Evander. I think he's the greatest. Your thoughts? Is Usyk the greatest cruiser of all time?
I think Evander was a better cruiserweight because of the fact that he could get guys out of there one punch. Usyk wasn't that kind of cruiserweight. He was a good boxer, but he wasn't getting out of there guys with one punch. Holyfield was getting guys out of there as a cruiserweight.
What about faring him? How does he fare against a prime David Haye?
Oh, he beats David Haye.
Both of them, Usyk, Holyfield?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Let's move on, guys. And also, W.L says, I have clearly Usyk in front of both Bud and Inoue as my pound-for-pound number one, which I believe he definitely earned, beating an opponent with a 40-pound weight advantage. Your thoughts on that, sir? Do you agree?
I don't. You know what? To me, I get what people are saying about Usyk, but remember something. Before Inoue, won those two undisputeds back to back. It was Crawford did it first, and Crawford did it where he was disadvantaged the second time because he wasn't in on the politics, and they tried to box him out, and he walked through that door, and I would say Crawford's got something very, very unique about him. Mm-hmm. I will remember Crawford not only as a great fighter, but I want to judge Crawford on who refused to fight him when those fighters were in their prime.
Indeed.
Okay. Like Earl Spence refused to fight him when he was in his prime. Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. The list goes on, guys.
That's it.
And Sean Porter refused to fight him all along until he was the mandatory.
There it is. There it is, guys.
There's reasons they all refuse to fight him. And don't give me the other side of the street bullshit, because I'll come right through this fucking screen and punch somebody in the mouth. If they thought they could win, they would have taken the money and fought.
And so there it is.
Everybody.
Alberto, thank you for joining us, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Can you ask Rick about the PBC rumors circulating on Twitter? So I need some clarity. I don't even know what that is. So, Rick, do you have any idea what he's asking?
Yeah, they got. I can't talk about it as far as who it is, but they're working on new investment money coming in, new investor coming in with fresh money, and they're trying to work through all the different nuances involving the deal. It may or may not happen, but right now they're on course to try to make a deal.
Would Dana White ever be foolish enough to invest and work with Al Heyman?
No, nobody. No.
He's too smart of a guy.
That's not the reason. Dana's ego wouldn't allow him to do that.
Indeed. Dana has to be in control, a lot like Al Heyman. Very good.
Right.
Andrew Charles, welcome to the show, sir. Devin will get his no contest. Ryan will do a suspension. The sport will move on. Do you agree with that, Rick?
Yeah. It's not going to get disqualified. It's bullshit. You got to win the fight in the fucking ring. Forget about what happened with Lucian Bute and what do you call it? Okay, you got to win the fight in the fucking ring.
Why is that? Like, why is Pat English using that angle? Is he shooting high and aiming low? Because
No,
Pat
he
English is a
wants to
really
get paid.
smart guy.
He told Bill Haney whatever he wanted to tell him and to get paid. That's all.
Well, he's getting paid.
Typical attorney. Typical attorney.
Yep. So that's the only one who's going to win in this scenario. Oh boy, Raphael Sindel says, Rick, what are your thoughts on Sheer Sports? You mentioned that about Roberto Diaz. Sheer Sports, are they a reputable company? Who is that?
Yeah, they're a reputable company. Alex, I can't remember his first name anymore. Is it Alex?
Biggest clients.
That Joel Irarte, which is the guy who's with Golden Boy, who's like 3 or 4-0 with all knockouts. He's a 4-round fighter, 6-round fighter right now. He's their top guy going forward. But they got a bunch of guys. You know, they're good. They're not a bad company. There's nothing wrong with them.
Very good.
You know?
Very good. Moving on, guys. Bruce asks, will Philip Ergovich versus Daniel Dynamite Dubois, will that be for the IBF? Will Usyk be stripped of one of his titles in a few days?
That's what it looks like. I mean, that's all I can say about it. That's what it looks like.
Yep. Guys, I heard the same thing. And our dear friend Ronnie Shields, we will not be on the air tomorrow because he's already taking off to Saudi Arabia, guys. And that should be a great one on June 1st, guys. Please support that on ESPN. It's still going to be free on ESPN, correct?
I'm sorry?
It's still going to be for free on ESPN, correct?
As far as I know it is, yes. As far as I know it is, yes.
There it is.
I haven't heard it's not.
Alberto says, Rick is keeping his answers short and to the point today. A true boxing historian. Well, here it is. Adam Hurley, welcome to the show, sir. He says, I still want to see guys like Parker, Caballel, Wilder, and Zhang, but he'll probably retire before any of that. I'm sure he's talking about fighting Usyk, and yes, he is. Fight Usyk. What say you, brother? Do you think he goes on after Tyson Fury, those rematches, or maybe even a rubber match, to fight any of the aforementioned fighters?
I don't think so. I think I'll have enough money by then, and he's like 37 years old himself.
And there it is. Yeah, I think that's yeah, he's going to be, well, he's already 37, right? He's going to be 38 soon.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep, there it is, guys. And he's got nothing else left to prove, guys. Let's just be honest. Nothing. In fact, he could retire today and he'd still have nothing left to prove. Adam Hurley also says, thank you for bringing this up, sir, because I do want to get Rick's thoughts on this event. We only have about 5-6 minutes left. Do you think Brian Norman Jr. is a threat to Jerron Boots Ennis?
He's not experienced enough yet. You know, neither is Boots, but Boots has been in like 5 or 6, 7 good TV fights. The other kid's been in 2 or 3. I don't know. It's tough to say. Nobody knows if Boots has got a good chin or not. He hasn't really been tested. And neither of his brothers, his 2 brothers that fought with super middleweight and junior middleweight, neither of them had good chins. So who knows if he's got a good chin or not. But he'll need one when he fights that guy. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what. Look, I know it's the obvious, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Were you totally impressed with this performance against Santillan from Brian Norman Jr.? And
100%.
Oh my gosh! Did you ever see this coming down the pipe?
No, I didn't see it because Norman has never looked impressive on ESPN. But it's a funny thing. Santillan's never looked impressive on ESPN until he fought Rocha, and until he beat Rocha, and then Norman never looked good until he beat Santillan. So what the fuck, right? I mean,
yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, you know what? That's a very, very interesting coincidence there, because Santillan had a breakout performance, a career best performance in his last fight against Alexis Rocha, And then Brian Norman Jr. turns into an animal. And who knew he could fight this well in the pocket, sir?
Nobody.
Oh, I tell you what, he put it together at the right time. And now he is the interim WBO champ. So who is the best of the champions outside of Jaron Boots Ennis now at 147? Is it your friend, Mario Barrios? Is it Staniones? Or is it Brian Norman Jr.?
I would say Stanionis. He's strong. He's got great amateur pedigree. He's a strong guy. He's beaten a couple solid guys already. So I would say him as the most proven, anyways.
And there it is. There it is. We'll try to wrap this up very quickly. We need to do a tight 60 today. From what I'm telling you, we're getting ready to close at Halftime Pizza Guy on Tesla Road. But we want to thank everyone at the Halftime Pizza for putting up with my loud voice. And Kevin Knight, welcome to the show, sir. He says, we want to stay in Japan. Rick, does he have any incentive to fight outside of Japan from this point forward for the remainder of his career?
Well, he may go to Saudi Arabia or something where there's a lot of money too. I can see that happen if he fights that MJ, who's a Muslim distraction. So I could see that happening. Yes.
What are the chances? Because I know a lot of people are talking about Bam Rodriguez potentially moving up and facing. Come
on. One's a 22-pounder going to 26. The other guy's the guy just went from 12 to 15.
There it is. I wish people would stop mentioning that online because Jesse, he's just a kid.
It's as stupid as people mention Nui versus Shakur or Tank. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, guys. Oh, well, once again, after Shakur fights Haratunian, right? Where does he go? Because everyone's talking about him going to PBC, but that'd be stupid.
Shakur, the PBC's got no money. Even if they come up with an investor, they got to spend their money carefully. He's not a pay-per-view attraction. They have no TV. Come on, what's he gonna do? Fight Tank's gonna fight him all of a sudden? Come on, that ain't happening.
So where does he go, Rick? If he's successful in getting past Haratunian?
I don't know. I think he can eventually re-sign with Top Rank. Maybe Eddie jumps in there. Who knows?
Well, good evening to you, Mark, and thank you for catching the show, sir. We appreciate it. And Kevin Knight, as well as W.A.W. Yes, Ukraine dominated this week's in boxing. They dominated with Vasily Lomachenko being successful last Saturday, and then now Dennis Baranchyk beats Navarrete to capture the vacant WBO title at 35. Rick, did you see this coming, and what were your thoughts on the fight? What went wrong for El Vaquero?
Real simple. Navarrete can't punch it at 135. He's too small, and he doesn't have the power. Didn't translate up. He was champ at 22, 26, and 30, and it's just not going to a fourth weight class for him. It's that simple.
Yeah. So who does Dennis Baranchyk fight from this point forward? Does anyone step in the ring with him at 35? And do you think he gets the Shakur fight?
Well, if Shakur re-signs with him, he will.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't. It would be damn stupid. But look, did you see this on Twitter? He since erased this tweet, but he said, look, Floyd said Bob's racist. Terrence said Bob's racist. And now I'm saying Bob racist. He is purposely trying to keep me down. I'm not nowhere near where I should be at this time.
The guy can't sell a fucking ticket except in Newark. Come on, he's got to stop with this shit. Jesus Christ Almighty!
I tell you what, we're going to end the show with that, Rick.
Jesus Christ, these guys are so delusional.
Thank you very much. And Rick, look, I forgot to bring up, well, I didn't forget. This is by design. Are you even looking forward to the fight at 140 this weekend and this Saturday? Catterall and Taylor?
Not really. It's like two guys that are yesterday's news. Not really.
That's it. That's why I purposely didn't mention it, guys, until now. With that said, Rick, we want your parting shots for this week's episode of Real Talk.
Really no parting shots. It's just that if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Real Rick Glaser 1. I've got 12,500 followers, and I answer all boxing questions. And I man that Twitter like it's it's a hobby, but boxing and social media is a hobby, but I man it like it's a business. So I answer the questions, and it's good. You'd enjoy following.
And there it is, guys. Please go support our dear friend, Rick Glaser. And brother, thank you for devoting your time and your generous time with us at World Week Boxing. And guys, on behalf of the real Rick Glaser, I'm Joseph Heron. And guys, on behalf of everyone here at Halftime Pizza, you've been listening to World Week Boxing. Have a great week, everybody.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.